All right, guys, this is we're going to be doing some factoring. This is going to use the skill that we worked on with those sum and puzzle or sum and product puzzles, and we're not going to do this first part here, or the second part. I'm sorry, the solve equation. We're not going to do that yet. We're just going to work on factoring these guys, okay? And you'll notice that it says using the FOIL method. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite of that. Before, when we had x plus 2 times x minus 5, we multiplied that. We could FOIL it. We could do our first term was our x squared. Our outside term was negative 5x. Our inside term was 2x. And our last term was negative 10. And we'd get x squared. And then we'd get these two put together would be negative 3x and then minus 10. And so when we FOILed this, we'd get that trinomial. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this trinomial and we're going to factor it back to those two pieces, okay? Just like if we had 6, all right, well, what are the factors of 6? Well, 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. We break it into two pieces. That's what factoring is. We're dividing by factoring, okay? So as I go through this, don't worry too much about all this stuff. We'll talk about how that works, what M and P are. Don't worry about that. We'll talk. This is more of the better example here, okay? And I'll show you how we do the whole X thing that we did yesterday, the sum and product puzzle. So what they're saying here is you got x squared plus 7x plus 12. That's your original problem. And then they're saying, all right, well, go ahead and find all the factors of 12. And we did that when we did this, didn't we? And then we figured out which one of those added, or the sum of factors added to a number. Well, the number in this case is going to be the 7. We're going to use the last term and the middle term, and we're going to put them in our x. And then we're going to use those. That's what we're doing here, okay? And you'll notice they put the 3 and the 4 there because that adds up to 7, all right? In a nutshell, that's what's going on. So here we go. What we do is we take the last term, and it goes on the top, and the middle term goes on the bottom, and we say, all right, what are the factors of 2? Well, 1 and 2 is it. Do those add up to 3? Yeah. So then we put those in the parentheses. The 1 and the 2 went right there. And so if these had been negative, then it would have been this guy. If these had been negative 1 and negative 2, but those aren't negative 1 and negative 2. But if they were, it tells you what the signs are, which is kind of nice. Okay, if one's positive, one's negative, then you'd have one of each, okay? But that's exactly what we're doing, is we're using this skill to factor this into two binomials. That's all we're doing. We're using that same exact skill. All right. So I'm going to skip this one here, but, well, let's look at it. So I'd put the 27 here, right, the last term, and then this term is negative 12. So now this time, this is a little bit different because this guy's negative, so both of my factors have to be negative. Negative 9 times negative 3 is going to be a positive 27. And then negative 9 and negative 3 makes negative 12. And so those would be my answers. So there they are. There you see those minus signs in there. X minus 3 and X minus 9. Okay? And I'm not sure why they're doing this on a graphing calculator yet, because we haven't graphed a parabola yet. So, but we'll get that later. All right, so here we go. Again, if this is positive, that means my signs have to be the same. So you notice all these, they're both positive or they're both negative. Okay, they're all same signs. When that number's negative, then we have to have one of each. So we got x squared minus 10x plus 16. So in my box, I could go 16 and 10. All right, so now the factors of 16 are those. And the only ones that make 10 are 2 and 8. So negative 2 and negative 8. And it's got to be this one here. Okay. All right. So I'll let you work this one a little bit. It kind of shows you how to do it as you go through it. Another example here. Okay. Then there's, now this one here is when this is negative. I got to have one of each. So I'm going to have my -5 up here and my +4 there. So to make this positive, the bigger factor here has to be positive, and then the smaller factor is negative. So now these two multiplied would give me the -5, and then 5 plus a -1 would give me the +4 that I want. And so notice this is positive, so there's a plus sign here, and this is negative, so it's x minus. That's the difference. And then there's another example here you can try. I'm pretty certain this is the answer. See if you can get that to work out. Let me know if you have questions.